16 naked cowboys in the showers at the Ram Ranch. Behind throbbing chickens wanting to be sucked.
Hey guys, I'm back with another video here, and today's video we're going to be starting a new series, so Jojo Theories. If you're not a Jojo fan, none of this will make sense. Basically, I know there's a lot of YouTubers already doing this, but I don't know why I've always wanted to be like a game theory, you know. I've always wanted to like record me just rambling about fucking random shit, because that's what I love doing. So like, we're just gonna do some theories. I'm gonna try and do ones that the YouTubers haven't done, so like because I've watched like every JoJo video in existence to humanity. So we're gonna start with this website. You know, I mean, I would, force a habit. Anyway. Fuck yes, it's raining, boys. It's raining. Let's fucking go. Alright. So what can we do? So there's already Josuke goes to fucking Italy with Giorno. Let's go from part 1 to part 8, I guess. I haven't read the manga, but I know a lot about the manga. So like, yeah. Alright, sorry I had to cut that. I just had to fucking do that shit because annoyingness. And I have display capture on because you can't do a browser thing, and it's fucking annoying. So, yeah, let's get back onto this delicious video. Alright, part 1. Let's first do what if Jonathan survived. So we're just gonna grab a lovely picture of Jonathan here. That's fucking lovely. Alright, lads. This scares me. This looks like something out of Rule 34. I feel like if I keep going, I'm gonna find some hentai. Alright, yeah. So basically, this chat of a man died because Dio, the gay slut, killed him. So basically, if he survived, he would have made it into part 2. Now, Speedwagon was around the same age as Jonathan. Speedwagon was an old man in part 2, correct? So technically speaking, we'd have an old Jonathan. Now, by then, he wouldn't actually get that old, because you know how Lisa is 50, but she looks young as fuck and thick as fuck? That's because Hamon. So, Jonathan is basically, I don't know how strong his Hamon is, but it's meant to be like the best, basically. Because fuck you, Cooper. I don't care what you say. This motherfucker inherited Jonathan's spirit, and Dio inherited Jonathan's body, alright? I don't care what you say, alright? This little shit is Jonathan's spirit, okay? And you can't deny that, alright? That's just a fact. So, yeah. This little shit. Basically, he died because he's stupid. Look at this stupid little fuck. He died because fucking fiery cruise. That's not how physics works, alright, mate? You're meant to have sunlight magic that's, like, hotter than fire. So, like, you should be able to just survive the fire by, like, using a sunlight shield or some shit. But, yeah. So, he'd probably look around the same age, maybe a little bit older, just like Lisa was. Or Elizabeth Joestar, whatever you want to call her. Basically, I'm trying to think real quick. So yeah, it would make sense, because Zeppeli is pretty old, but he's still looking normie. So like, you know, should be fine. Alright. If Jonathan was in part 2. So we haven't really seen Jonathan act with like a son or anything, so we wouldn't really know what he's like, but we do know he's a gentleman. So he'd probably be like nice. Like, this is literally just perfect. Oh yeah, I got my Jotaro hat. Yeah. Depression. Alright. So, him versus the Pillarmen. Now, the Pillarmen have killed countless Hemon warriors, correct? So, basically speaking... See, I didn't use technically, I used basically, come at me. This little fuck would probably die. Now, we haven't seen the Pillarmen fight the Hemon warriors to know, like, how strong they were, or, like, how long their Hemon training was. All I can say is they might... Because if they're really powerful, then, like... Jonathan's gonna stand no fucking chance. But then again, Joseph is, like... just an absolute fucking abortion, I swear to God. Like, fucking... Joseph's Hemon training is just... It's a joke. There's literally, like, one training section, and then it's over. That's literally it. So, Joseph is very weak. The only reason why he fucking won is because he used big brain. Joseph is just clutch, basically. We don't know where he gets it from, but Joseph. He's just clutch. So, all I can say, Jonathan versus Joseph. Jonathan would win out of sheer strength and, like, Hemon training power. But, like, Joseph could win with his clutch bullshit. Like he always fucking does. So, if we're talking about, like, a literal fight without any luck involved, Jonathan easy wins. But, like, Joseph, just, no. So if he was in part 2. So first, doesn't he take, like, a plane from Britain to, fucking... Where the fuck... I don't even... Where is this motherfucker at? Where do they go to? Location, motherfucker. Because Mexico. Discovered in Mexico. Okay. So I know he's a Pillarman, but he's like one of the weakest ones, basically. So he went to Mexico, right? I'm assuming. Part 1 and 2 were just a speed run for me. Like, I watched every episode, but I don't know, it just felt really fast. Same with part 3. But part 4, part 5 took, like, forever. So, Joseph would have gone to Mexico. So, if Jonathan is meant to be relevant to this part, I'd say he'd play a similar role to old Joseph in part 3. So, kind of like the helper kind of thing. Like a side character. So, I don't think he can really be in this bit, because, like, what can he do in this bit? Joseph didn't really do anything besides use his big brain strat to kill Saitama. But, like, I guess he would go there to free Speedwagon. Because Speedwagon got captured by German soldiers and nobody else. Nothing that starts with N. Yeah. So, he was, like, captured by them, and he supposedly died, I think. But then, like, got semi-revived or some shit. Am I still recording? I am recording, boys. Let's fucking go. I'm not cutting a single bit out, besides that bit I cut out earlier. Alright. So, let's say Jonathan does go to here. What can he do? So, Saitama would probably get into the vents. Jonathan would probably be there to support Joseph. Now, we have to remember, Jonathan's an old man now. He's an old bitch. But, the only problem is, would have Jonathan had, like, more kids? Because if he did, that can be a major problem. Wait, is this the whole reason why Jonathan didn't survive? Because he would have had more kids? Because Erina was having a wedding, and, you know, after the wedding, you get the honeymoon, and then you get the woo. And then, yeah. So, like, big brain. So, yeah, he's definitely a pillar man. So he was found in a pillar, big brain. My question is, how the fuck do they sleep in pillars? Do they just, like, fucking go all harden mode as a metapod? They just go metapod harden, and then they fucking turn the snow. No, they go into space and become cars, and then they come back down. You see, it's big brain. Oh, that'd be funny if they did. But yeah. Basically, this little shit. I've skipped the whole fucking bit, haven't I? Yep, I have. I totally forgot Straight Sue was a vampire. Well, Straight Sue was weak as fuck, so Jonathan would probably just kick his ass. Yeah. Zatanna. Big man. Basically, he'd probably still crawl through the vents, because I feel like Jonathan would have just taken Speedwagon and then, like, asked what you're doing here kind of thing. And then they'd be like, well, you see, we have captured an illegal immigrant, also known as the Mexican Vampire, aka Pillar Man. Yeah. So he probably would have just, like, fucking yeeted him. Alright. So Jonathan is going to be really more powerful than in part 1. Also, we have to consider if Jonathan survived, that means Dio doesn't live. So part 3 doesn't exist. That doesn't matter though. So Dio got fucked up because he's just a head. Get it? Head. Ha. Got him. Alright. Zatanna. Technically, Joseph never really fought Zatanna, and if he did, he didn't fight him at his best. So we never really knew how powerful Zatanna was, neither did we know how powerful Joseph was at the time, so let's just say Jonathan's gonna be OP as fuck, and probably just yeets him out the window. Basically, whenever you add characters to different parts, it's just gonna be a hell of a lot easier, pretty much. You're just making the whole thing easier, so it's a bit hard to explain, because it's just gonna be dumb. Because all the minor characters are just gonna get fucked up, you know? Yeah. So, Jonathan would just yeet this guy, and then he'd probably... I don't think, what's his name? Fucking the German commander, I cannot remember his name. I'm not saying it, I swear to God, if you guys make me say it. Strongham, there it is. Strongham probably wouldn't have got, like, blown up. Because didn't he try and go into the sun and then, like, Zatanna is inside me. And then he just fucking blew him up. But then he became, like, a cyborg. So, like, probably that wouldn't happen, because Jonathan would probably kill him before that happens. Now, Joseph, we don't really know what he'd do, because he's never really had any interactions with Jonathan besides Eyes of Heaven. So we don't really know what he would do in that scenario. So, yeah. After Zatanna, they go to Italy to meet the other Pillman. So, Pillman. And then we get the boys. Here we go. So we got the boys, right? Basically. These guys are still gonna be, like, really, really strong, because sure, Jonathan has Hemon, but if the vampires were like as strong as Jonathan when he was in like probably like his main stage. See, we don't know how Jonathan's power increase would go because Jotaro got weaker with his age because he stopped training. But you can imagine Jonathan would probably keep up his training because he is, after all, a Hamon warrior. And a proud one at that, so... he'd probably keep on going to the level where he's probably as strong as, like, one of these guys. Kaz would still be, like, really powerful. So Caesar, Jonathan, and Joseph. I reckon all three of them would probably, like, team up and just, like, do all the training together and do, like, a team thing for the oil tower. I don't know how Lisa interaction, because that was the saved child off the cruise that Erina saved. So that'd probably mean that Lisa might like go easier on them because like family reasons. But you don't know. So let's just say they do all the training, so they have 30 days to live. So Kaz doesn't have any earrings, does he? It's only Wamu and AC/DC. Meaning only they can give the poison rings. So I guess they'd probably still give it to Caesar and Joseph. I don't know how Jonathan and Caesar interaction would go. Caesar would probably favour him more than Joseph because he had like interactions with his father. But yeah. So Jonathan would probably go in with Caesar to Wamu because you know, that's what Jonathan's like. He just charges in. So he'd probably go do that. Joseph would go to AC/DC and take him out. And he'd just do the good old cap trick. And then Wamu would die in there. Because, think about it. It's a 2v1. They're both really strong Hamon users. All Wamu has is wind. As it was stated, Wamu almost fucking died by Caesar's bubbles. And if Jonathan's way stronger than the both of them, then Caesar could cover with bubbles and then Jonathan could just yeet him. So both of those fights are over. They give them the poison rings antidote. The whole Colosseum thing doesn't happen because Wamu's dead. After that, we go to the Kaz fight. So Kaz is up in the top of the mansion. And I believe Lisa and Joseph went there. Yeah, I think that's how it happened. And Stringham went up there. And I can't remember exactly what happened, but I think Stringham died because he didn't realize, well, he didn't die, but he got really injured. Because he didn't realize, Kaz's blade has like tiny little blades on them, so it's like a blade and a blade. And he didn't realize that, so he wasn't really prepared for that, and he got shredded up. But Stringham was actually really fucking overpowered. I'm just saying, like, he was just fucking a god. Like, he could pluck his goddamn skin out. Like, his entire flesh just out of his arm. That was pretty fucking gangster when he did that. And then he, like, shot the fucking belly machine gun. That was lit. So, let's say Kaz gets Lisa on that thingy again. Lisa gets, like, fucked up. And Joseph goes up there. And then Kaz goes to the spikes, I think. Kaz, like, falls down to the spikes. Now, Jonathan would probably be standing where the Germans are, and they'd just be chilling there with the lights on. I don't think he'd do anything to, like, tamper the Asia mask. I think he'd just kind of sit there and let Joseph do it. Because he'd still be wounded from Wamu's battle. And then after that, Kaz would become the ultimate life form. I want to say Jonathan would die, because we can't really have a part 3 if Jonathan doesn't die. So, Jonathan would die by Kaz, basically. Yeah. Because, Jonathan would try to attack Kaz, and then Kaz would just absolutely destroy him. And then after that, it's Joseph and, Kaz, basically. Maybe, since we have Caesar and Joseph still alive, they could team up. Now, Jonathan might pull a Zeppeli move and, like, give the last of his hammer to Joseph. If he did that, Joseph would just be overpowered. But he still has to go against the ultimate life form, which is the strongest, like, Hamon warrior. Because he can manipulate Hamon, all life, and he's a vampire, so he has regeneration. So, pretty freaking overpowered Kaz is. Joseph would use his big brain strat and just finish the part normally. Caesar, I don't think Caesar would be, like, ballsy now, because he had his moment with Wamu where he just fucking charged in there. I don't think he'd come on the plane and, like, run with him, because after all, Kaz was only after Joseph, because Joseph was supposedly gonna be, like, killed and, like, bring new light to his new form, basically. Because Kaz was kind of, like, reborn into life as this thing. And then he just fucked him up. And then, after that, Joseph would do his Omaiwamu Shinderu, and then just send him into space. And eventually, Kaz would stop thinking. And then, afterwards, there would be a funeral for Joseph and Jonathan. Jonathan would still die, Joseph would come to surprise them, and do his thing like that. Okay, this is not what I wanted. I don't know why I just typed Joseph, I'm a bit special. Oh, this scares me. No, it's not okay. Jesus Christ, I'm dying. So yeah, this is Joseph at the funeral. Doing his little hand thing that he's gonna do, the fucking... Oh no. Breakdown. But it's a true fact. Yeah. So that's that theory done. We're no strangers.